Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wicked Bee of the West YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie Diana Eubank. I'm a doctoral candidate at Concordia University of Chicago, and I teach operational management and business at Stan State. So there's another really interesting point that came up in my doctoral research, but also keeps coming up in consulting and even my conversations and networking with various other leadership professionals who either have been working remote for a decade or more, or new to being remote, or followers in the same predicament of either being veterans of remote or being novice and only becoming remote since COVID. And that is the topic of cameras. Now, I know that this has become oddly a weird, controversial topic. I don't understand why everyone's making a big deal about cameras. I have had a number of times, and even when I was first starting remote was before, because now it's been 11 years now. We didn't really utilize Skype and Zoom in the way that we do now, where we constantly have video meetings. You would pick up the phone and call people. You'd instant message. You didn't necessarily have video chatting as a regular normal thing. This being said, with remote work and the rise of remote work and the utilization of cameras in communication, it has become an intricate tool within communication. And a lot of leaders who are more old school in their methodology really prefer the tool of Teams and Zoom and Skype, specifically for the fact that you can see people. There are social cues that you can read, that, and it's a little more difficult for those who are more personable to read it remotely, and it takes time to develop and cultivate that skill. Needless to say, there is argument about whether everybody should have their cameras on when they're having conversations this way. And I know that there's so many people that are dead set on both sides of the argument. I'm in the middle, and I'm going to tell you why. For one, when you have big meetings with a lot of different people, having your camera on isn't necessarily helpful and can drag your Wi-Fi speed so that you're not able to catch everything, and it can cause a lot of other technical issues. So I don't think having your cameras on when you're not presenting during large meetings is necessary personally. When it's a one-on-one, I as a leader prefer to actually ask my team, how do you prefer to be communicated with? The reason I ask that is there's been a number of research papers showing the fact that not all workers, and especially when you look at generational lines, can prefer the same type of communication, such as the study found that people who are Gen Zers tend to prefer a video call or an instant message, say in Teams, etc. Millennials tend to prefer an instant message or an email, and boomers prefer you to actually physically pick up the phone and call them versus video chatting, no matter what you need, even if it's a little thing. They prefer more of that sound as an auditory learner. All of this being said, and again, there's so many room for argument, and everybody is different. Everybody has different preferences. So as a leader, I believe it's important to establish, first of all, with your team, how they prefer to be communicated so that you're not causing undue stress. What do I mean by causing undue stress? Many leaders don't understand, especially in organizations and in sectors of business that are subject to a lot of turnover, such as the financial industry. Every time that there's another financial downturn or the rates go up, you have suddenly a massive layoffs. And as such, when you call your team or you call a team member, oftentimes it's, oh, I'm getting the layoff call. It's not always positive. So you need to communicate with your team of, okay, if I have a quick thing that we need to address ASAP, how do you prefer to be communicated with? Or if you're not really the type that likes to have a combination and different communication styles to blend to others, detailing to your team up front, hey, if I instant message you, that's something I need addressed quick, fast, and in a hurry. If it's an email, take your time, read through it, let me know if you have any questions. Or I prefer to video chat. I want us to have these weekly one-on-ones. I need your camera on. You're not always going to be comfortable in front of the camera. Hell, I have a YouTube channel, and and being a professor and being in front of people and presenting and doing public speaking within the business paradigm for years, doing employee development, doing project development and project management, and having to speak in front of people, whether there's a camera or not, takes practice. And not everybody has the comfort level to be okay in front of a camera or in front of talking to people other than a one-on-one. So you are going to find that you are causing undue stress, and a conversation with your team about how they prefer to be communicated with and their comfort level behind a camera. Also, heaven forbid, give a tutorial. Not everybody is comfortable with management seeing inside their home. My husband and I went out and bought a home to accommodate both our remote work and school schedules, plus our family and their growth, and making sure that they're comfortable and have all the space that they need for all of their requirements. Not everybody is able to do that. And especially those during COVID who are just kind of forced to go and start working remote with no preparation, may still be trying to accommodate their housing situation to accommodate remote work. And that does take some planning on theirs and leadership's point. So doing a quick tutorial on how to utilize the digital backgrounds for your team is good. Talking to your team about how they should be addressing or retrofitting their backgrounds to be more professional. Helping your team develop quick skills to make themselves camera ready, such as here at my desk, I have lipstick, I have my blazer for when I need to be more professional in front of a camera. And, just little things for being able to quickly make myself a little more presentable and then turn on the camera. A lot of people feel that, no, everybody being all sloppy, that's you acting like you're not really there to work. No, that's not what's being expressed when you see your workers looking like hell when they turn on their camera for you. What you're seeing is your workers putting in so much work, trying to get so much done with so little resources, and probably needing more support from leadership. But to leaders' point that they want the cameras on, it's to be able to see that, because they can hear you all day long about how, hey, are we hiring more people to help me out here because I'm drowning? If they don't see it, it's just your word. Even if it's showing in your productivity, even if you're working so hard to get everything done and you're managing to get everything done at the cost of yourself as a follower. Leadership needs to be able to address this, and that's part of why they're asking for the camera on. So there needs to be a for real conversation between leadership and their teams to really develop what they want as far as camera usage. A lot of companies are skirting developing camera usage policies because it can get pretty questionable pretty quickly and leave open for lawsuits. And that is understandable. And I agree with that, having that perspective. But it means as leaders, we need to accept sometimes if your team isn't willing to turn on the camera, it can be a multitude of things, and asking just, hey, why don't you feel comfortable? If it's, I don't want you to see inside my house. And literally, I have had team members that I have gone to have the video chats with, and these people have, especially during COVID, walls of toilet paper in their background or other items that they have been doomsday prepping, or things just falling apart because they were falling apart during COVID. We need to then have the serious conversation of, are you okay? What can I do to help and support you? Leadership in a remote paradigm becomes more of that coordinator and supportive teaching role as a leader versus a drill sergeant. And as we go forward in the future of work and remote modality, we need to understand these types of followers and these types of leaders. That's all I have for you today. Be safe and remember, remote is here to stay.